Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. I had a viewer inquire on the experience of narcissistic rage and going through this situation with a narcissist, and can this make you violent? Can this kind of create an outburst in you? And my answer to that is absolutely yes. The narcissistic rage is essentially a temper tantrum when a narcissist cannot get what they want, when you try to keep them accountable, when you try to get answers from them, when you're trying to find out the full story. You're trying to have some sort of common language. You're trying to have some common ground. You're trying to get things out on the table. And this is normal and to be expected in relationships. It's a given. And the narcissist will oftentimes act with narcissistic rage, which is essentially a temper tantrum, and just kind of really lashing out, and it's oftentimes very much a cause for concern. If you see this in the workplace, if you see this in your home environment, it creates a lot of static and a lot of friction. It's very uncomfortable, and basically with every action there's going to become a reaction. So if you're not schooled in how to manage and handle this type of person, you're going to meet their hostility with hostility back. In other words, if you have a tendency to not be able to control your emotions, or if you're confused, you tend to get frustrated and kind of lash out, then this can, as I say, these relationships can pull out the worst of you. And really what I would call really not the real you, oftentimes, because they tend to ascribe or project their feelings, their mindset, their hostility, their toxicity onto other people. And they tend to maliciously ascribe these evil motives to other people. In other words, it's very much a very strange and sick goal of the narcissist and the psychopath to dissolve love. They do not have a capability of love. They are not able to have loving relationships. It's purely chemical. It is not genuine, and they do not possess that ability to be close to certain things. They might feel close to a pet, but they do not feel a love for people. So, it's not like, I'm so frustrated I can't stand people today. They truly are not able, on a permanent basis. They're not able to love. So they very much, some narcissists and psychopaths very much have a goal to destroy your ability to love. So, any sort of closeness, any sort of sacredness. Oh, I love this word, sacred. To me, that's so very important. Most people will have something that's truly sacred to them, something very meaningful. It could be an object, it could be a relationship, it could be an idea. Ideas can be sacred. Your family lineage could be sacred to you. Your religion could be sacred to you. Your hobby could be sacred to you. Your connection to gardening could be sacred to you. Your love of nature could be sacred to you. The narcissist, loves to try to get in there and then ascribe some sort of wrong to it. You might find a certain lifestyle sacred to you. You might have a lot of respect for your grandparents. You might have a very sort of strong connection to your grandparents or their way of life or their outlook, their perspective, their values, and you feel a very strong connection to that. And the narcissist will try to they'll pick up on that you have a really close, a real, genuine connection, and they'll really try to secretly attack that. They don't want you to have that. They don't have that. They get jealous. They get envious. They get intimidated by that. They realize you have this quality, and they want it. And people have a tendency to want the very thing that they can't have. So they will try to go after that and make you sort of do a 180 and make you feel like, well, you really hate that when you really do love it. It's a very maniacal thing, and if anyone has ever experienced this, please write something in the comment below like I've experienced this, because they're trying to get you to take away they're trying to get you to give up, and brainwash you, gaslight you, depersonalize you from this very experience that you find and cherish, very much so. So when they do that, they then try to bring out the worst of you, and oftentimes we do see people who come out with a violent side. Violent meaning they're so lost control of themselves and their senses, and they just tend to flip out. But that's to the person who is not understanding what you're dealing with, because the moment you understand you're dealing with a narcissist, the moment you can let them go. Once you see them for what they are, poof, they are gone. They no longer have control over you. And so it's very important to come to terms with the reality of who these people are, so you're not subject and prone to these sort of violent outbursts. Most people do not like feeling like they're going to be violent, except the psychopath and the narcissist. You know, I mean, they love violence. I don't want to say they love violence, but oftentimes they're rooting for the bad guy, and they're like, how cool is that? The bad guy won. You know, it's very sick. In fact, you know, it's very strange. If you look at how certain how certain countries conduct business, it is very much in China that for a businessman to con another businessman is considered an act of good business in China. They have very, very poor and sort of doing one over up on each other as in terms of a business strategy in China. I had studied this, and so, you know, if you pull one over, if you promise delivery of some goods to a businessman in China and you fail to deliver, the equipment broke down and you had prepaid for it, and you didn't get your shipment, too bad for you, bad luck for you, oh well, so they have this stamp, this red stamp that the new people who are new to the business don't know that you should get this stamp. I think it's called a chuck or some sort of thing. What is it called? It's called like a chop, CHOP. So when you conduct business transactions in China, you have to always ask that business to have their chop, I think it's called, so they are a legitimate business. And you really have to be careful, because you will get taken advantage of. You will get taken to the cleaners by people in China if you're trying to do business over there. And as myself, I'm an innovator. I've worked on new product developments and things of this nature. So in terms of like getting prototypes and things like that made, you have to be extremely careful and not get duped over. So you like lose your shirt, you lose your, you lose your crap in dealing with these people. And these people, I mean, they have no problem with having you lose everything. I mean, they don't care if your business goes down. They don't care if you've had a family business that's been in business for 40 years and a multi-million-dollar enterprise, $100 million enterprise that, because of your wrongdoing, you've helped them off the map. I mean, it's an accomplishment to them. And if they get something out of the bargain, if they've siphoned money, if they have bankrupt the company, if they have, what's the word I'm looking for? Siphoned funds, not espionage, but, other things like that. It's just how they do business. It's a very ordinary thing for them. So you have to be very careful. They will bring out the worst of you. If you feel like someone is bringing you to a state of violence, get away from them ASAP. Have no contact with them. Speak to a social worker. I mean, if you feel like it is really getting to you, make an appointment with your primary care physician. Get to see a psychologist right away. Go through some anger management courses. Get a grip on things. Don't let it run away with you. Don't let the relationship run away from you, and don't ever let it get the best of you. You will always lose in the long run. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos help. Please share, please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussions, and support.